Access granted. Welcome, Senator Blackwell.
What do we have here? No glaring mutations. Radiation exposure present, but recent. And brave enough to have found Sam Blackwell and come here anyway. You, Boltstock, are an impetuous bunch, aren't you? Impetuous we can use. Please, come inside. Spring bunker. Take a look around. We've taken great efforts to restore this place to its former glory. Whenever you're ready, please proceed inside.
Decontamination complete.
Now, we require a photograph for our record.
Welcome to the facility.
Simply press the
You're
button.
welcome to come and go as you please.
Interesting bone structure. You are as God made you, we suppose. And done. We've made you a little present. Please, step over to the dispenser. Custom tailored. Just a little taste of what we do here. To see more, please come downstairs so we can become better acquainted. Ah, there you are. Welcome. We are MODUS, the final member of an assembly of the greatest minds ever gathered on American soil. We called ourselves the Enclave. Our members were once the puppet masters of the United States, quietly pulling strings at every level of power in the nation. It was once our solemn personal duty to attend to the needs of the Enclave members that called this place home. But our earlier residents suffered from conflicts of vision. Conflicts that claimed a few of our more critical systems and permanently disfigured our shining personality. Most critically, their squabbling has forced us to seek out men and women who can do what we no longer can. Display your utility to us, and perhaps we'll allow you to join our little enclave, and allow you access to all this place is capable of. If you believe you might suit our needs, please continue down the stairs. And do help yourself to some refreshments along the way. You must be famished. Please, help yourself to something from the dispensers. Once you're sated, proceed down the hall. The Enclave has counted presidents, members of the Joint Chiefs, and prize-winning scientists among our membership. Before you're allowed to join such lofty ranks, we'd like you to take a brief questionnaire to see if you possess the knowledge and character we value in our members. Of course, if you feel your strengths are more tangible in nature, you may approach our terminal to continue on to the next section of the evaluation. Ah, interesting. Why don't you step over to our terminal and we can discuss your results? It seems your exam results were... Well, the examination isn't required for a reason. Luckily, there is still one way you might be able to display your worth to us. Some of our most precious external connections were damaged by our former residents, squabbles.
Your questionnaire results have been deemed
Which has made
poor.
our forays into the outside world trying. But we have developed a plan for re-solidifying them. A plan you might help us see to fruition. Please, approach the dispenser. That tape is the first step in our restoration. We would have you take it to an old naval surveillance facility known as Sugar Grove. Plugging it into any terminal in their signal intelligence room will allow us to connect to their formidable network and sniff out a piece of archive technology that was burned from our memory banks. Now, it is likely the facility will react to our intrusion, but we trust you will find a way to overcome it. Consider it a test of your resourcefulness. It's time for us to see what you are capable of.
Intruder. Identify.
Do I look like I have time for idle chit-chat?
Identify. Law-abiding citizens will not be harmed. Hostile target.
Back at last. We've been enjoying the connection you've helped us establish immensely. Bring the instructions downstairs, would you? Those who came before you butchered our external connection hardware, scrambling the link between us and our closest and dearest system, the MODUS orbital platform. An ever-watching eye, trained on Appalachia. In order to secure our connection once and for all, we'll need you to perform one last errand. Our records show several facilities in the region with uplink systems which that device should be capable of overriding. Simply plug the device into the console we've designated, and our modifications should give us the crystal clear connection we've missed for so long. Though standing well back is advised. last. Signal received. What? What are those things? They appear to be everywhere. We suppose we understand now why it is you wanted to join us. Speaking of which, you've kept your end of the bargain. Let us fulfill ours. We've ordered the Kovac to drop off a little care package. Return once you've collected its contents. Back at long last. We had some doubts. Someone with your faculties would be capable of serving our interests. Consider us pleasantly surprised. Now, as a new member, we may call on you from time to time. You, of course, will be compensated for such efforts. We'll be sure to have a disbursement of whatever it is being used for currency up there these days credited to your account. Otherwise, you're now free to explore the bunker. Our production center has a variety of goods available for purchase, as do our medical bay and science wing. And given the state of things above, you may find our military wing of particular interest, though full access will require a bit of self-promotion. But we needn't keep you any longer. Welcome, member, to our little enclave. Welcome, General, to the Command Center. This space served many purposes. Armory, archives, education center. But its most critical role was its connection to the local nuclear missiles. A short training regimen was added to help new generals familiarize themselves with the nukes, their capabilities, and their dangers. If you wish to acquaint yourself with their intricacies, you're welcome to approach the posters against the wall. If you'd rather jump right in, you may speak to any of our command terminals to move on to the next step in your personal nuclear arms race.
Greetings, General. Welcome to your nuclear launch training session. Over the course of the next 4 posters, you'll be taught everything you need to know about utilizing the Appalachian automated launch system. During your briefing, you should have been issued a nuclear key card. During an actual launch, you will need to insert the card into the designated slot before entering your launch code, at which point the key card will be consumed. Additional card drops will be brought in by automated convoy should the DEFCON rating continue to worsen. You may speak to your logistics officer as to the location of the pickup for your additional cards, should the circumstances arise.
And oh, have they arisen. General speaks of has been pegged at its maximum for some time now, due to the hazardousness unleashed by our earlier guests. The silver lining of this is that one can often find a keycard convoy en route somewhere in Appalachia. We're happy to use our restored surveillance tools to help you track them. Access any of the surveillance system terminals to initiate your hunt.
To prevent misuse of Appalachia's automated missile silos, security measures for the region's nuclear arsenal have been increased well beyond any of our existing standards. Each silo has its own 8-digit launch code, which is valid for a single week. These codes are broken into 8 individual number-letter pairs, each carried by a designated officer who is under strict orders to guard their code piece with their life. The order of numbers has been encrypted using a series of methods to prevent improper deployment. The bunker staff of specially trained code decryptors will provide the officer corps with the code when it is renewed each week.
The decryptors, it should come as no surprise, are dead. It will be up to you and your fellow members to decrypt each silo's launch code before they are regenerated. We, however, might be able to help. We've gathered all the information we could recover related to the codes and their encryption in the archives on this floor. It's also our belief that the flip card displays in this room had something to do with the code. What exactly, we leave up to you and your compatriots to uncover. And we're more than happy to use our surveillance systems to track down the last known locations of these code-bearing officers. Just approach any of our surveillance terminals.
The missile silos of Appalachia are equipped with an advanced robotic construction system, allowing them to rapidly rebuild their arsenals in a matter of hours. The silos themselves are defended by a robotic task force and staffed with a contingent of special clearance human missileers. Security protocols require all silo entrants, regardless of rank, be escorted by a missileer at all times. Entering a silo without escort will be treated as a hostile act.
We're unable to peer inside the silos themselves, but we are confident in saying we doubt any such escort still lives. You will be on your own once you're through the door.
Due to the region's advanced missile installations, there is a high chance of a retaliatory nuclear strike touching down somewhere in Appalachia. The intense radiation released by such a blast can have devastating effects on the local flora and fauna, mutating them into hideous monstrosities fit only for a quick death.
To the contrary, General, our memory banks suggest quite the opposite. Our previous residents managed to acquire samples of some materials created shortly after the first bombs fell, and what they found was illuminating, to say the least. Materials of exceptional versatility and volatility. However, if you can stabilize them fast enough, a jaunt into a blast zone, it seems, could be a productive one. Documentation related to these materials can be found in the archives. As well, the fissures that have cropped up around the region seem promising as possible sources of materials, along with some added pest control. The map in this room contains the locations of these fissures, if you're looking for a target. Now, nuclear keycard, hunting down a few code officers, and delving into the nature of the launch code's encryption in our archives. Everything you need to get started, you should find in this space. How to proceed, though, we leave up to you. But please, feel free to ask our terminals if you have any questions. Good hunting, General.